We've taken trips that have lasted weeks and even months, and we do it with just a carry-on and a backpack.
We didn't always travel this way though. We always packed too heavy. We would use a big suitcase and a carry-on and a backpack, and it turned out the added stuff would actually take away from the trip rather than adding more to it.
Dragging suitcases down cobblestone streets is miserable, and also trying to take them onto crowded public transportation just did not make for an easy travel experience. And if you're flying a lot, checked bags get really expensive, especially if you're going on multiple flights. So after those first initial trips, we changed how we pack completely. Now, how matter long we travel.
You said, now how matter we travel.
Oh, now how matter. Now how matter. Now.
You got it, dude.
Now no matter how long we travel, we bring the same amount of stuff.
Hey!
The biggest thing I found is you don't want to actually pack for the length of your trip. If you're staying somewhere longer than a week, my goal is to pack for 7 to 10 days. And clothing choice matters when you travel, but not in the way people think.
You don't need a completely different outfit for every occasion.
I will try to think of it like I want 4 to 5 like comfortable, athletic looking clothes that we can do activities in and feel comfortable walking around. But when we are traveling and I'm picking out clothes for us, I always just try to think of like 4 to 5 comfy, breathable outfits, and then like 2 nice special occasion things that we can just like pop out whenever we need to.
Or the best way to do it is just to have nice plain clothes. That's actually one thing I don't do very well. I love my little shirt. I love my little parrot shirt. That's actually one thing I wouldn't continue to do. You know, just nice, plain colors, nothing that draws attention. And that way people don't even recognize that you're wearing the same stuff. And like in a clothing aspect, a lot of people, when they take their travel pictures, that's not what people are really looking at for the most part. They're seeing what's behind you, not what's on you. So if you're really like, oh, I want to have this outfit when I do that, unless if you're having professional photos done, it's not worth taking up that extra suitcase space.
Unless you think you might get proposed to. And if you like dresses, I think dresses are a great travel hack because they're all like one full outfit. So you can pack a dress and it's a complete outfit versus packing a pair of pants and a shirt. We also bring like 1 or 2 pairs of like a lightweight pajamas, and emphasis on lightweight. This is not the time to bring your super fuzzy pajama pants. Those take up way too much space.
I just wear underwear.
Sure, that actually will save you a lot of room in your suitcase.
The key to longer travel while staying in a small suitcase is laundry, which is tough for me, but when we travel, it's a necessity. Our biggest tip with that are laundry sheets, because they take up almost no room. And this is what you do instead of detergent, and it helps make your clothes smell better anyway.
They do
So you
smell
just put
good.
it in between your clothes. Yeah, you use them when you need them.
If it looks like we keep looking around, it's because our cat keeps trying to push the camera off. So I'd much rather spend extra time on our trip doing laundry than having a whole second checked-in suitcase. So now let's talk about how to actually pack the suitcase. When I'm packing the suitcase, I like to do kind of a variation of the KonMari method. I hope I'm saying her name right. So instead of like stacking our clothes like flat on top of each other, we'll fold them so they're basically standing up. That way we can see everything we packed, and it also kind of does save a lot of space and keep things a little bit more organized. This can come in handy a lot for if you have a specific outfit you want to wear on a day of your trip. So then when you open your suitcase, you can see everything you've packed and you can just pick it out like a book from a bookshelf.
We don't really use packing cubes at the moment. So I don't know, do you guys use packing cubes or not? What's the benefits other than staying organized? Or is that just kind of the main thing? We'd like to hear your guys' opinion on that.
Yeah, I really want to know. I've met some people who are like super against packing cubes, and I've met some people who are like, I will never pack without them. So I'm pretty curious. We want to send a big thank you to Level 8 for partnering with us on this video and sending us these new carry-ons. We actually each picked something a little different. I went with the Free Loop, which has all the charm of a vintage suitcase, but with really modern features. It's completely zipperless and has TSA approved locks. So instead of messing around with the zipper, I can just pop it open from the side like this. They also have these super smooth 360-degree wheels and this really nice interior organization. Damien got the Adventure carry-on, which has the super unique wide handle design, makes it feel really sturdy, but our favorite feature is actually how it opens. So instead of splitting open like a traditional suitcase, the entire thing actually opens from the top. This is gonna save a ton of floor space like in those tiny Japanese hotel rooms.
I was skeptical at first. It said that it opened from the top. I was like, what does that even mean? It opens from the top of the suitcase and it doesn't open from the sides. And I wasn't sure how I'd feel about that until I opened it and I realized this is perfect. And I'm actually able to see what I have rather than when it opens in the middle and it's on both sides, it's kind of an issue. So I actually ended up really liking it. I wasn't sure how I'd feel about it. I think it's something I couldn't do without anymore. It's like CarPlay for me. Like I can't go back to a car without CarPlay.
So thank you again to Level 8 for partnering with us. You can check out both of our suitcases using the link in the discount code in the description. We don't really have any like revolutionary method for packing toiletries. I mean, you have limits in a carry-on as far as that goes. So you have like a built-in threshold for how much you can bring. You can't really like save on space when you're already given that limited amount. But there is one specific liquid toiletry I wanted to talk about that I think is worth taking up more space in your toiletry bag, and that is sunscreen. And there's a big lesson we learned from our trip in Vietnam, which you're gonna see coming up in the next few weeks, is when you run out of sunscreen, it's a big deal and it can cause a big problem. We both got dangerously sunburned. Like, it got really bad. You guys will see it in the next upcoming vlogs, but I had like a blister on my leg that was like the size of almost my palm from getting sunburned. They were like 2nd-degree sunburns. So really, really, please, everyone needs to pack sunscreen when they travel, or you could end up getting really hurt. Like if you're going somewhere and you know you're staying in hotels, they pretty much always have shampoo, conditioner. Save that extra room for sunscreen. So I do want to mention a few small things that I think are worth taking up space. The first one being a good sleep mask. Now, I'm not someone who really needs a sleep mask on a flight. I can sleep without one, but Damien actually does really need one.
Well, I have some comfortable ones, and she got me ones that have like earphones in them, and they're Bluetooth. I actually like those better than just using my AirPods because I'm always worried when I fall asleep that they're gonna fall out. I'm gonna have a hard time finding them. And it really actually doesn't take up much space. Wait, I actually had it attached. I was talking about it. So yeah, this is the one. You charge it, you can do it, you can turn up the music and stuff, and the earphones are right here. And I just always leave it attached. That's why I couldn't find it. I was wondering where it was. It was already attached. And another big thing is, especially for us, we have like a lot of different electronics. When you have cameras, different batteries, your phones, your laptops, stuff like that. One big thing is with adapters, we always look for ones that are single plug-in but have multiple outputs, because you don't want to be fighting over, okay, we got to switch this, we got to switch that. So we always get adapters that have multiple. And then also we get universal ones like this one. And this one goes to any country. And it also has the USB. So that is a big way to save space and give you peace of mind, is to find ones that have multiple.
I also always bring a travel blanket. Now these tend to fit on top of your suitcase, like with something like this. Or you can clip it to your backpack, which is what I usually end up doing. But one thing I will tell you, when we've gone on like domestic trips where we're only gonna be gone for like a week, we don't even really bring our carry-ons. Instead, we'll just bring our backpacks, and this is what I'll do. I will take the blanket out, leave it at home, and I will fill this with clothes and clip it on, and that way I can still like use it as a pillow. But I put clothes in this, and I was surprised at how much I could fit in here.
Now, traveling with medication. One thing that I do, I actually don't use a pill organizer. One, because I'm always worried that I don't have the actual prescription label on the organizer.
If you are someone who brings medication with you when you travel, I always say just to get a written written printed thing from your doctor stating what your medication is and why you use it. And so if somebody does want to look at it, they can see that and see that it's from a doctor and doesn't think that you're just like carrying a bunch of medication.
She uses a normal backpack. I use a camera bag, which at first, if you don't have expensive camera equipment, you might wonder why. But it's really cool about helping you stay organized because these move around and stuff. And also, it's very well padded. Even if I wasn't traveling with my camera equipment, I would still take it because this is nice and solid. So if you're looking for like solid backpack options, camera backpacks can actually be a good option for you.
Since we were talking about backpacks, I also wanted to say your situation may be different than ours, but when we use our backpacks, it's mostly electronics. And I know that's not the case for most people. My backpack is super old. It's actually Damien's backpack he's had for like a decade.
16 years, baby.
Yeah. Now, the reason why I would advocate against using the backpacks for more clothes and more stuff, even if you're someone who has the room, is it can really weigh on your back, and it just hurts going through airports and things like that, and it is just not worth being that uncomfortable. I try to put anything I might need like on an airplane or on a bus, anything that's like something I'll need immediately, like maybe we need medications or like your toiletries, things like that. These can all go in a backpack with maybe laptop, things like that. The backpack in my mind is for necessities, things that are like immediate, you need to get in, not for things like clothes. While we were talking about the backpacks, this got me thinking about why we really are like ultimate carry-on travelers. We eloped abroad, which means we had basically our wedding abroad, which means I brought a wedding dress with me. Now, that could be a whole video about how to pack to elope abroad, but if you're packing a wedding dress, do not get it checked. I actually carried it in my carry-on suitcase, and it was the only thing in my carry-on, and I packed everything I needed in between part of his carry-on and my backpack. That was the only time I've ever used my backpack for clothes, was when we were getting married and my carry-on was filled with just my wedding dress. So one thing I want to talk about is entertainment. Now, this may not seem like the most important thing initially, but if you're traveling long-term, there's a lot of downtime, whether you're on public transportation or obviously long flights. Entertainment does play a big role. Sometimes you'll be on flights and they don't always have that little screen or the on-screen entertainment. A lot of people I know like to bring a book or something like that, but if you're traveling long term, they can take up a lot of room and be really heavy. I would recommend maybe downloading an audiobook, things like that. I've done that and I've enjoyed that because sometimes I don't always have time to do that in my regular life. But if we're on a flight, I can just listen to an audiobook. Another thing that we spend way too much time doing on flights is we play Wi-Fi free games, and usually there's 2-player ones, or we can play games like sometimes they have Uno or Monopoly, or just like really silly games like the headband little game or charades, things like that. And we will play those and we will have a really good time, and time will fly by with those things. Of course, if you have something like a Switch, I also do like to bring this on and play, and it doesn't really take up that much room. So if you're like a big gamer, I would say that bringing the Switch would be worth it. And if you like video games, leave me some game recommendations. And finally, there's one problem that people don't think about when they're doing carry-on only, and that is souvenirs. So if you're coming and your bag is already full, how are you going to stuff your suitcase full of stuffies from the arcades in Japan? We kind of have a confession. We are not big souvenir people. Our thing is to buy a magnet everywhere. Very original, I know. That's like the thing on Instagram. Everybody buys magnets. They really do end up not taking up a lot of space, and we can also buy several if you want to.
And that's also like a tip if you are going somewhere like Japan where you want to go shopping or something like that. Maybe they have cool clothes. Don't pack much clothes, and that way you can buy that and then bring them back with you.
We did this in Thailand. We went to a mall and it had like a huge sale, and I got this really, really cute polka dot jumper, the one I wear in all of the videos, it seems like, because it was like less than $5.
You can also do postcards. Some people like postcards, patches, and then the smallest one is just pictures, and then you print them off when you get home.
Yeah.
We actually do have some souvenirs, but we don't look for souvenirs.
Yeah.
Like if we see something, we're like, oh, we should get that. That'd look nice in our home. But The key is not to look for a souvenir. Let a souvenir find you.
So the souvenirs that we have like actually bought tend to come from like moments and not like, oh, I'm looking for a souvenir. I have to buy something and take it home. Yeah. Regarding the patches, I have a best friend who buys a patch like everywhere she goes, and she irons it on like a sweatshirt or a t-shirt, and then it's kind of like she has her own souvenir shirt or souvenir hoodie from any place she wants, and it's a lot cheaper. So as you'll see, packing minimally isn't about leaving everything you like at home. It's just making the things you bring work a lot harder and go a lot farther. Do laundry, choose things that serve multiple purposes, save your limited suitcase space for sunscreen or things that make traveling easier.